So let's talk a little bit about the brisket. You're
So
30 seconds away from turn in.
yeah,
You're running ahead of schedule because you're
yeah.
right there, basically almost a world champ right there at the American Roll.
Shoot.
You got everything sitting in a box. What progressed with the chicken stuff? I mean, with the brisket stuff. How did
So
this?
yeah, I'm like everybody else. Everybody wants to turn in brisket last, right? Everybody wants to kind of get in at the end of the window because at a big contest like that, they're probably still judging pork, right? So I'm literally I can see the turn in. I look out the back of my trailer to the left. You can see turn in over there, right? So me and a buddy of mine, George Ray, he went with me this past weekend. He was running boxes for me, and we were sitting there talking, and my clock said 1:33, and it's got to be in by 1:35, right? I said, well, just go ahead and take it. I said, you got plenty of time. So he walks out the trailer. I'm starting to clean up. I turn around. He's walking back in the trailer with the box.
Oh shit!
No, I mean, what you got something in? You dropped it or something? What we need to do? He said, no, we missed turn in. It was like we're like 4 seconds late.
4 seconds late, and it sat there on the table for 3 minutes in the box.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I said, there's no way. I said, me and you looked at the clock. Well, let's go back to the clock. So I've had this freaking clock, one of those square clocks that everybody's got in their trailer, right? Had this thing for probably 10 years. I keep changing the batteries in it, but it has, ever since I bought it, I can go a week or 2 weeks and not cook. And every time I get in there on Friday, it's always a minute behind. It's always a minute behind. So at the cooks meeting, I mean, they always set the comp clocks with your phone, right? They're always with your phone. So I get back in there on Fridays and I always set my clock on the wall with my phone. I do that every Friday. I did it this past Friday. So I don't know what progressed in that clock, or it was just time to shit the bed on the clock. But that thing went from being on time to almost a minute and 45 seconds behind.
Oh my God!
In one day. In one day.
I mean,
in one day.
So
if I did not set that clock on Friday, I would not say anything. I would just take it. Yeah, but I did. I keep my clock in a drawer. I take it out. I hang it on my wall, and I set it every Friday when I get to a contest.
Oh my!
So I use
gosh.
my iPhone, and I took the screensaver off, right? So I took the time on the screen off that it won't shut off.
Right.
I use my iPhone. It sits right there on the world time, no matter what state I'm in. I can go back and forth because I just never trust a clock, whether it's atomic or it's just one of them good old fashioned, minute hand clocks, whatever. I just don't trust them. So I use my iPhone there, and like this past weekend, you got everybody coming by there. And hey, here's your official time, and I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like no matter what, I'm still looking at my iPhone. Like, okay, is my iPhone off? Is it on? I mean, something. So it's kind of I use my iPhone. I just can't stop using that.
No doubt. Yeah,
Brett. Okay, so Brett said I'd be sleeping that clock in.
I'd put it in front of the truck and run it over as a trailer.
Did you keep that clock? Did you frame that clock? Did you run over it? What'd you do with that clock?
That clock is in the Elkton, Florida landfill right now. I took off. I don't know. I'm not one that's going. It is what it is. It's just we cook barbecue, right? We just cook barbecue. I mean, it sucks because I knew I was very, very proud of my cook this past weekend. I had a great cook. I mean, everything was, it was first cook of the year. I went to bed early. I didn't stay out and have the sore head the next morning. I did everything right. And George went with me, my buddy. 99% of the time I'm cooking by myself. So George is with me, and George is like, man, everything was just great. And I mean, he was sick to his stomach too. And I was like, it's nothing you did wrong. It's my fault. I should have threw the clock away 10 years ago when I bought it.
Right.
So
Samuel has a good point.
Yeah.
You got one of these.
I know it. You know it. And look, it's like he said about my phone's always sitting. I take my phone and I sit it up on my little glove. I got my glove holder. And I sit it up, but then it goes, it goes back.
It goes blank.
I don't pay no attention to it. I use it to play music stuff, but I should have. I wish I would have been looking at it. But
he's got a 180.
Cost you a grand champion.
Yeah, he probably did. He got a 180 in chicken. He's got a 7th place rib. He's got a 13th place pork. And I mean, heck, he could have had probably a 20th place brisket and would have GC'd this thing.
I figured it up because they were some good there was some tight scoring through there.
Right.
I would have had to have a sixth place brisket. And
brisket.
so me and Frank Nagel, we cooked the same brisket. We cooked the same recipe. Everything's the exact same.
Right.
So were you dead ass last?
He brought his over there. Frank got 6th. If I would have had, I would have had to have Frank's brisket to win. And we were comparing briskets, and they were both the same. I mean, couldn't tell one apart. Frank actually liked my tenderness better, but that same brisket, the last contest was the ABS Classic Brian's contest, and I got a 180 in brisket.
Wow.
So I felt like the brisket would have been a top 10. Who knows? It could have hit a bad table.
That's
and
right.
You just don't know. And
Wow.
I've always been. It sucks because I broke my streak. I've never missed a turn in. I cook by myself 99% of the time, so I'm very disciplined with my time and on turn ins. Right. I don't never. If I would have been 30 seconds there, I would have left at 1:30, 1:32.
Right.
I just always give myself plenty of time. Right. And that's what made me sick. I almost wish. Well, no, I don't. If I would have been rushed and I missed it, if I would have put George in a bad spot and he would run out the door thinking he's going to miss turn, it would have been wrong. We sat there and looked at that damn brisket in the box for 3 minutes. I mean, it was in the box on my clock at 1:30.
Oh my
God. We were just touching it up, and I was like, "Look, I'm gonna quit messing with it. Whatever. It's 1:33. Just go ahead and take it. You got plenty of time."
That's crazy.
That's what made me sick. You know?
Oh yeah, that would make you sick. I like saying I got a wall clock and Apple Watch in my phone. Somewhere in the middle, I'm going to kind of be on time.
I promise you, I will double check. I'm like Aaron said. I'm gonna take my screensaver off, so my phone's all in my face.
Yeah,
man, it stays that way all the time because every weekend you're doing it, and that way you ain't got to worry about it. Go back and change it. It doesn't matter.
So
wow.
Apple would be smart if they come out with a clock just for Apple that would Bluetooth to your phone. That way it would just be the time clock on it. It'd be a smart buy for somebody.
I said the same thing, and there's got to be a product out there like that. It's got to be a product that syncs with your phone. So there's got to be one that you can set on.
I'll make a call.
The same thing.
Yeah.
There should be a freaking clock.
I think what we need to do, guys, we need to pitch in and find that clock and buy it and send it to Jason.
No doubt. I'm almost going to make an email to Apple. Y'all need a Bluetooth clock that just for the iPhone that just goes straight to there. That way it's taken care of. It automatically syncs. And you would sell a load of those things.
Yeah,
but there's 49 other teams that would disagree, Mike. They're like, no, let that son of a bitch not get his brisket turned in. Let him get DQ'd. Give us a chance to win this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Were you dead last or were you not dead last?
No. That's the thing I was going to say. So my buddy Trey Terry was smoking sweetmeats.
Yeah.
Him and his wife's been cooking for 20 some years, probably. I mean, they have never missed a turn in, and she missed turn in.
Oh my gosh.
She run out. She sold me, and she was crying. I felt so bad for her, man. I'm telling you. She run out. They come down to the wire, and she said when she run out the trailer that she knew she wasn't gonna make it because I was like, shit. I thought George had 2 minutes to walk 30 seconds.
Right.
I felt worse for her. I wish I could have I wish I would have sacrificed that freaking brisket for her to make it. Because they've been cooking like say 20 some years together, and I mean they're legends, right? I mean, they're people you just love to death. Well, I felt so bad for her, man. So anyway, so Trey was over there trying to make the best out of it. He's like, man, let's get a little side wager, Bo. It's just me and you. I said, well, when's the last time you've been to a contest? You got a 50-50 chance. So you're right. So we made a side bet. He likes to drink vodka, and I do too. He likes Tito's, and I do too. I said, look here, we put a hand on Tito's on it. So.